From inside the gym at Leominster High School, we welcome you to Game of the Week action here on the K-Zone AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com, and with our partners on Rivalry Family Media. Wherever you choose to join us tonight, we've got a great girls basketball game for you as the 13-4, 6-1 Nashoba Chieftains come to the gym at Leominster High School looking to improve their situation for postseason seeding as they try to catch Marlborough, the leader in Girls Division Mid-Watch B. Meanwhile, Leominster comes in with a 5-10 overall record, 2-5 in Mid-Watch A. They themselves need every single win from here on out in order to qualify for the playoffs. It's the Blue Devils and the Chieftains, and it's coming up courtside here from the gym at Leominster High School. We welcome you to our courtside broadcast position. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Happy to have you along with us for this one. Should be a great night of basketball. And Bill Thomas, we said it right off the top. This Leominster girls basketball team needs every single win that they could possibly get from here on out. They've got 4 games to play. They need themselves all 4 wins. And here's a key stat, Bill Thomas, that's standing out to me. Yes, they're on a 3-game losing streak, having lost last Tuesday against Fitchburg here in a game we had right here on Rivalry Family Media. Followed that up the very next day, dropping a heartbreaker, a 1-point loss on the road at Oakmont, and then they got the wood taken to them against Wachusett, the best basketball team in girls basketball across the state right now. But the key stat to me beyond that is going back to their previous meeting with Wachusett, January 14th, Leominster has lost 5 of their last 8. That shows the tough time they've had thus far.
Yeah, I've been looking at that schedule, especially recently, Todd, and I've been looking at some common opponents, and they've had a lot of them over the last 5 games. And, you know, especially on the Nashoba side, the last 5 games they've played, they've all been common opponents to Leominster. And over that series of 5 games, Leominster's 2-3 and Nashoba's 4-1. And I think that is kind of like tells the tale of the tape when it comes to where these two teams are right now. You know, we talked with Coach Frederick, Rusty Frederick of the Leominster girls varsity basketball team pre-show, and he's very optimistic still that they can't win these last 4 games and still find a way into the tournament with 9 wins. 9 and 10 might get them in depending on how the rest of the brackets fill out. So he's still very optimistic, but he's got a very steep mountain to climb here as the season's winding down, and it doesn't get any steeper. Well, maybe it was a little steeper when they played Wachusett the other night, but this is like the second steepest mountain that's in the way as they try to round out this season with some wins.
And when you're looking at a team across from you in the Chieftains with that 13-4 overall record, 6-1 in Mid-Watch B, holding up firmly in that second position, Kate. Nashoba may not ultimately catch Marlborough in those Mid-Watch B standings, but they're firmly into the postseason. They're looking to build momentum. They ultimately want to improve their overall standing.
And that's exactly right. This game means 2 very different things to the 2 teams out on the court. I just want to piggyback off of what something Billy was saying as well. Common opponents between these 2 teams. They've played a lot of them. They've fared exactly the same against every single one of their common opponents. If Nashoba beat that opponent, Leominster has beaten them. If Leominster has lost, Nashoba has lost. So you have to remember that just because the records don't necessarily reflect the same thing, and because this game, it means different things to each of the 2 teams. You have to remember, in my estimation, they're going to be fairly evenly matched if you take a look at them on paper from an equivalent matchup standpoint. So very excited to see what both teams have to bring right now. Leominster, I think, is outsized a bit. Nashoba right now has a couple of bigs over there. Don't necessarily see a whole lot of height in Central Mass girls basketball unless you are taking a look at Wachusett generally in Mid-Watch A, but some pretty impressive height by the Chieftains over there. So we're going to see, and I know that a couple of them have collegiate careers coming up ahead of them, the seniors. I know you'll talk about that in a little bit, but very excited for this matchup. I think that although records don't reflect it, I think we're going to have a pretty evenly matched matchup.
Leominster will certainly struggle to keep pace with this Marlborough team as well. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Bolton Orchards for the season's best harvest and the freshest produce. daily lunch specials, and Nitro Brew coffees. Open 7 to 6 daily at the junctions of Route 110 and 117. Online at boltonorchards.com. And Kate, you made a note of that a few moments ago, and Billy was talking a little bit about, of course, where these rosters are differentially. For Leominster tonight, we know Isabella Nevard, the all-everything freshman for the Blue Devils. She won't be in the lineup tonight. Nevard is nursing what they believe is a sprain in her knee. She still needs to see more medical attention before that diagnosis can be confirmed, which means for the moment, she's out of the lineup. She's on crutches and an air cast. She will ultimately not be in the lineup tonight. That means also it's going to put some pressure on Leominster's other star players who are also nursing injuries of their own. Ivana Akachiri took a tough fall against Wachusett last Friday night. She nursing an ankle injury. She's going to try to give it a go tonight against Nashoba. Then you have Destinia Vivamore, another one of Leominster's key players, particularly down low. She is also nursing an illness. She's going to try to give it a go tonight. And Bill Thomas, when you're playing a team like Nashoba, it's not good to have all of your horses stuck in the infirmary.
Yeah, when it comes to scoring, Nashoba's got Leominster all matched on paper, but they've got them outmatched on the bench now. We're talking about 3 key players that are either not going to play or are a little nicked up, illness or whatever, just battling these late season bugs. But somebody's going to have to step up. And I think one girl we can watch tonight on the Leominster side, Tiffany Boziaco. We didn't see her play in the JV game, and she's been getting a lot of JV time. Plus added senior time here on the varsity. I think we're going to see a lot of her tonight, and her ball control, handling, and skills are going to be on display. I think we're going to see a little bit of the future tonight.
And Coach Rusty Frederick talked about it. There were 2 JV players that were going to get called up on. Boziaco was one. Kylie Cudahy is the other. They will play full games tonight, or be available to play full games tonight for Leominster's varsity squad to make up for those injuries. Kate was talking about it a few moments ago, and the pure athletes that are on the other side of the floor, unbelievable. Had an opportunity to exchange emails with Coach Christina Seabury of the Chieftains. Here's just a little bit of what she told me about 3 key players, the 3 key seniors in her starting lineup. Abby McNulty, the senior guard, she's going to attend Boston University next year. She's going to play women's soccer at the Division I college level. Then there's Kylie McMahon, the senior guard. She's going to attend Bill Thomas, just a small school you've never heard of, Stanford.
Oh, really?
You ever heard of Stanford?
She's going to play basketball or some other sport?
She's going to play field hockey at Stanford next year.
So basketball's a sideline for these girls.
Absolutely. It's just a way to keep in shape.
To stay in shape.
Without question. Then you have Lexi Richard, the other senior forward. She's going to attend Davison next year as well. So, as it turns out, Bill Thomas,
softball?
the no sport listed here, but I have to imagine something.
But there are other girls on this roster, too, that they can turn to. Not just about those 2 seniors. Jillian Payne's having a great year, 9.4 points per game, but 31 threes at this point in the season. That's all about 3 a game. She's going to be chucking it up there. So there's other girls up and down the lineup, and they got a freshman they throw in there. Peyton Richard is scoring 7.7. So they got a wide range of a roster of talent to use tonight. I think we'll see most of it, if not all of it, and maybe early on.
So much more to come here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. And here on RFM, we've got introductions, national anthem, and tip-off. All that coming to you as the K-Zone Game of the Week is brought to you by Colonial Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Hudson. See the difference that selection, service, and price make. Dealer of the Year, 7 years in a row, online at buycolonialdodge.com. The K-Zone Game of the Week and RFM's coverage of Leominster and Nashoba girls hoops continues here from the gym at Leominster High School. You stay with us right here. This is girls basketball and the Game of the Week on the K-Zone. K-Zone Game of the Week rolls on here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. We are happy to have you along with us courtside. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins. You had us on a milk carton for this winter season, but we're good and glad to be back with you. 100%. We're fully joy as we are courtside here on the K-Zone. Derek Drown back at Master Control, pushing the buttons and making the magic happen here on the K-Zone's Game of the Week. Upcoming broadcast here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. Next Monday night will be the next K-Zone Game of the Week, and it's boys hockey as Leominster plays host to North Middlesex over at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg. It's a 6:30 puck drop with Dan and Dan on the call here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. As we were talking about before we went off to break, the athletic ability that we're going to see on display here in this Nashoba team certainly is impressive to say the least. And we're looking forward to seeing that athleticism on display here. Meanwhile, for the Leominster girls, it's going to be a question of, can you keep pace in this action throughout the night? And Bill Thomas, that'll be the key. Can you keep up with the numbers when you only put a 32 against Wachusett? You have to imagine you have something in the bank.
And the numbers say that Nashoba comes in averaging over 55 a game, and they're consistent with that. And, they can throw a 60, 65, even 70 at you on a good night, and they have this consistent scoring up and down the bench to do that. So, in Leominster, this scoring has fallen off a little bit, and missing that, the 6+ that Isabella Nevi was throwing in there. It's just going to be even harder to find points, especially when they have to go to the bench, averaging only 45 up to this point in the game. It's going to be, once again, like I said, a tall task for Rusty Frederick's squad, but this could be a trap game from Nashoba. You never know. They could be looking past this game on beyond the playoffs, and the two of them could be Leominster's game to steal tonight.
And it's certainly a game that Leominster can use. They need every win from here to the end of the season. Tip-off coming up, Leominster and Nashoba girls, the K-Zone Game of the Week. It's brought to you by Acme Carpet One in Lunenburg, a local family-owned floor covering store that understands you care about your home and need quality workmanship. Online at acmecarpetone.com. Tip-off of Leominster and Nashoba. When we come back, this is the Game of the Week on the K-Zone. For those of you joining us on RFM Radio, will rejoin us momentarily. We thank you so much for joining us. We'll pick up the player introductions and the national anthem here inside the gym at Leominster High School.
Number 30, 23, Gaia Curly White. Number 25, Faith Hockey Cherry. Head coach, Rusty Fredericks. We stand for the national anthem.
For those of you joining us on Rivalry Family Media, the K-Zone will rejoin us on the radio coming up in moments. It's Leominster and Nashoba. Happy to have you with us on Facebook Live. So many ways to participate. Shout out to those of you that are out there tonight. You want to drop us a comment, feel free to drop us a comment. We'll shout you out throughout the night right here on Rivalry Family Media. It's the K-Zone Game of the Week here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM, streaming at WPKZstream.com. Happy to have you along with us as we get set for tip-off of Nashoba's 13-4, 6-1 overall record, and the Leominster Blue Devils 5-10, 2-5 in Mid-Watch A. As we welcome you back courtside here on RFM, we are ready for tip-off.
Quick record comment. 0-2 Nashoba started out, 13-2 since then.
And 0-2, two tough losses, one to Natick, the other Holy Name, two top girls basketball teams making up that chase pack behind Wachusett in Central Mass and statewide. Chieftains win the tip, they control, they will go from right to left. In the middle of the post, Richard has the ball stripped away by Faith Akachiri. Leominster's got themselves the basketball, and the Chieftains no shot in their first possession. Leominster half court to our right, wearing the home white tops, white bottoms, trimmed in royal blue. The running devil on the L on the left and right of the shorts. Blue Devils frame the numerals front and back of the Blue Devils jerseys. Leominster lost the basketball across the timeline, re-corralled. That is an over and back violation. And the ball goes back to the Chieftains. Still no shots. Here's the first one on the board for Nashoba. It was Richard. Ball long off the rim, carries out of bounds. Back to Leominster, no score. 7:16 to play here in quarter one. The expected starting five takes their defensive positions for Chieftains. Callie McMahon and Lexi Richard, along with Abby McNulty, the senior starters, will play the guard spots. Jillian Payne, the junior, will have the fourth guard spot, and Skylar Finnegan opens the scoring with a left side three-pointer buried.
You know, if the Blue Devils are going to find some extra scoring, that's where it has to come from. Skylar's got to step up tonight. Put double digits at least on the board if Leominster plans on having a chance to stick in this game.
Lexi Richard not able to convert on the left end of the floor for the Chieftains, and the ball back to Leominster. Peyton Richard rounds out that starting five for the Chieftains. Meanwhile, for Leominster, a slightly different starting five. It includes Kaya Curley-White as she steps in for Isabel Nevard, out with injury tonight. Finnegan, same spot, a kiss of the glass, and buries the three. Leominster got a 6-0 opening run.
We'll take that one.
Pretty impressive right off the bat for the perimeter shooting for the Lady Blue Devils. Much patience.
Payne with a three from straight away, and she hits. And the Chieftains are on the board. They've halved Leominster's lead. It's 6-3, 2 minutes into this first quarter.
Very rarely in girls basketball do you see the first three shots that go in come from three-point range, but it's happening tonight. A lot of perimeter shooting for both of these teams right now.
And Adams thought about another one. Instead, dribble entry, drops it into post for Akachiri. Turnaround shot won't go. Rebound for Leominster, and Adams has got it again. She'll now go low left, working the give and go with Akachiri to Adams. Count the basket and the reach-in foul.
Nice give and go right there. Pressing the lane and converting, looking for three the old way. You know, back to that Nashoba possession. You know, it doesn't surprise me to watch Payne chucking it up. 31 threes at this point in the season, close to 3 per game, and I expect to see her throw it up a few more times.
And Adams completes the three-point possession. Leominster's lead is 9-3, 5.5 minutes to play here in quarter number one. Shot will not go for Payne from the right side. They load up McNulty. She misses a three as well. Third opportunity on the possession for the Chieftains. It's Richard. Richard dribbles down the paint and a reach-in foul call against Leominster. Look like Kaya Curley-White's going to pick up her first.
And she does. That's Kaya Curley-White's first, team first of the first half for the Blue Devils.
McNulty will inbound from the baseline. Middle of the paint, finds McMahon. Jumper fails to go. Akchiri to the right side. Tried to snap a pass to Kaya Curley-White. Too much traffic. It got knocked down. Adams will pick up the loose ball, snap a pass off to Curly White. She can't corral, now brings it in, overshoots Adams, and the Chieftains have it 2-on-1 down floor. Stop, pop, McNulty. 2 from the wing is good, and Leominster's lead is narrowed to 4.
Good job there, converting that fast break before the defense got back.
Finnegan and Adams play the guard spots. Ivana Akachiri and Faith Akachiri, the 2 forward spots, joined by Kaya Curly White, playing that small forward mid-guard spot, the 3 spot for Leominster. Adams behind the back to the foul line kick. Playing catch, ball picked. McMahon collides with the official. She's out of bounds. Last touch appears was off Leominster. It is Chieftain basketball. Ugly play there at the top of the key. Chieftains had a great pick, and it got picked off by the official.
Indeed it did.
4.5 minutes to play here in quarter 1. Leominster's lead 9-5 here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. Payne, 3-point opportunity, misses off the left side, and there's a foul on the floor. It will be a Chieftain possession under. Ava McDonald had checked in at the last whistle, and she picks up the foul.
It's her first. It's going to be team second on Blue Devils.
Viva More checks in on that horn. Curly White will get a spell. Left corner 3. Whistle kills the shot. Traveling violation called against Payne, and a sharpshooting junior. She's surprised. Sharpshooter is what Coach Seabury had to say of Jillian Payne. Says she's really expanded her game in her junior season and played lockdown defense. That's Christina Sudbury on her junior, and Leominster comes down the floor, and McDonald will pick up the pivot foot, and the ball will go back to the Chieftains. Teams exchange unforced errors. Halfway through this first quarter of action as we wind under 4 minutes in quarter number 1, Leominster with the 9-5 lead. The left wing dribble shot will not go for McNulty. Putback opportunity as she got it again, did not go. And there's a foul on the rebounding action. This one's going to go against Lexi Richard.
Good aggressive rebounding right there. Ava McDonald throwing some elbows, picking up the foul.
Richard picks up her first. It's team second of the first half for the Chieftains.
You know what I've noticed, Bill Thomas, Coach Rusty Frederick, going with what we saw the first week that we had seen Leominster play. Meanwhile, on the inbound, a baseball pass to a wide open McDonald, and she walked with it. She had the room. She was behind the defense, nearest the basket, and picked up the pivot foot. The ball's back to the Chieftains.
Chieftains catch a break there. Defense fell asleep.
Maybe a moment, Bill Thomas, to get back to this observation. Coach Rusty Frederick going with those short, quick shifts with his team, trying to keep everybody fresh with the numbers not so good. They've now fallen back to a 2-3 zone on defense.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you don't have the bench.
Moray tries to get a hand to face a Honig, but Honig buries the shot. It's a 3 that brings the Chieftains within 1. Now a pick of the inbound. Cross court, it's Payne from the right corner. Honig had another shot at a 3, had to pull it down, float into the post. This one was Richard. Now they swing it out. It's a shot from McMahon that won't go. Back rim, loose basketball, brought down by Akachiri. Working with Finnegan, give and go to the hoop, laid in and good by Akachiri, and a timeout on the floor taken by Coach Rusty Frederick to stop the clock with 3:01 to play in the first quarter, and Leominster with the 11-8 lead.
Nice job right there. Good fast break conversion. Action up and down the floor right there, and Leominster finding a way to maintain this 11-8 lead here late in the first quarter.
Much like the last game that we saw, Leominster still struggling with turnovers, already with 6 of them, having a very difficult time holding on to the basketball, coughing it up a little bit too much, especially considering how good Nashoba's perimeter shooting is. They're going to be able to get back in this game so quickly if Leominster doesn't clean up the turnovers. Right now, 2 turnovers for Nashoba and already 6 for the Lady Blue Devils.
K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Chapdelaine Truck Center. Chapdelaine Truck Center is your Fisher Plow distributor. Have you needed it this year? But it's always good to have a Fisher Plow from Chapdelaine Truck Center. They are the experts at Chapdelaine. They'll help you pick the right plow for your job. Route 2A in Lunenburg, online at chaptruck.com. Somebody must have bought a new Fisher Plow, because that's what's thrown this whole winter off.
Well, I was going to say, did you just jinx us? Are we now going to get a blizzard? Thanks so much.
Up 2 feet by the weekend. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Into the corner. Honig with the 3 opportunity from the right side won't go. Loose ball rebound run down by Viva Moray. gave up her dribble in the backcourt. She's trapped. Faith Akachiri comes back to help her out. She now feeds Vivamore. Jumper from just inside the arc won't go. Rebound down in the hands of Honig. Outlets for McMahon. Up floor for McNulty. And the Chieftains will slow the action. 2.5 to play here in the first quarter. McNulty with the bounce entry for Payne. Payne right back out. They work it back top of the arc. It's McNulty for a three, and she hits. And the Leominster lead has evaporated. We're knotted at 11, 2:15 to play in the first quarter. Here's Adams, a three from the left side, won't go. And the rebound down for Payne. Payne, up floor, finds McMahon. McMahon in the corner, Honig. Back top, the key finds Payne as the Chieftains play catch. McNulty will take it into the left wing. Pull up the jumper, will not go. Rebound Akachiri, up floor for Finnegan. Leominster has stepped on the gas noticeably here offensively, and they've lost control. Finnegan tries to save it inbound, throws it to a Chieftain. Back down floor in transition, McDonald pokes it out of bounds, and the ball will stay with Nashoba. 1:44 to play in the first, 11 aside.
You know, just to reflect on Kate's comment about Nashoba, quick comeback team, over 75 threes by their top three leading scorers. So they're not afraid to hoist it up from three, but they make them to.
I don't think any lead is going to be safe tonight.
The bounce inbound was picked by Vivamore, and Leominster with another opportunity. Adams thought about a three, pulled it down, fed Cudahy in the corner. She skidded the pivot foot travel, calling the ball back to the Chieftains.
Turnover number 8 already for the Blue Devils. They got to hold on to the ball.
90 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Teams knotted at 11, and the Chieftains going from right to left. It's McMahon to McNulty. Three, back rim, no. Chased down a long rebound. Adams will dribble it. Cross the court and into the hoop with the lay-in. Pretty move by Grace Adams. She was able to knock it loose near the timeline and took it all the way home for two. Leominster back on top, 13-11. McNulty pops the three from the right side. No finish. Ivana Akachiri, the rebound. Final minute here of the first quarter. Kylie Cudahy short into the rim on that possession. And back the other way come the Chieftains. Head fake for McMahon. Now feed back McNulty. Pops the shot, won't go. McMahon rips down the rebound. Sets up Payne. Payne's three, side rim, won't go. Cudahy, the uncontested rebound. About a 10-second differential, shot clock to game clock. 33 seconds to play in the first quarter. Finnegan pops up a shot off angle, won't go. Rebound down in the hands of McMahon. And about now a 2-second differential, shot clock to game clock.
One of the things I worry about is Grace and Skylar trying to do too much.
Strong take for McMahon, won't go. And the shot clock off with 13.5 seconds to play here in the first quarter, and Leominster coming down floor left to right. Finnegan, now Akachiri, cross corner, was poked out of bounds. Nice reach there by Payne stepping in the passing lane. Leominster will keep the basketball with 4 and 9/10 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Knowing that Nevard is out, knowing that Akachiri is lame.
Akachiri inbounds. Now Adams, good if it goes from the left corner. Hits the rim, down on the rebound. That's the final horn of quarter number 1. Through 1 quarter of play from Jim at Leominster High School. It's Leominster 13 and Nashoba 11, Kate.
I think it was an excellent opening quarter right now for Leominster. I think one of the things right now, because they have multiple players that contribute every single game, I think you're seeing people like Grace Adams and Skylar Finnegan tighten up a little bit because they know that they have to contribute even more. They can't necessarily spread the ball around as much as they have been in the last couple of games. So I think that puts a little bit of added pressure on them. They are the veterans, so that's not something that they aren't used to. But having multiple players that you're used to contributing positively go down like that, that can be a little bit disheartening. Obviously, Vivamore is in the game, but not 100%. Obviously, Ayana Akachiri is in the game, but not 100%. But you have a situation where the freshman Nevard, who's been a real bright spot in this offense and especially in this defense for the Blue Devils, kind of one of those things where Leominster needs to just do their job. If they hold on to the basketball, if they take care of the basketball, and they limit the turnovers, I think you'll see them be a little bit more successful.
K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by North End Mazda. North End Mazda, Chase Road in Lunenburg, has the latest in new and used Mazda and Subaru inventory. Online at buynorthend.com. At 19 minutes past the hour, you are listening to WPKZ AM 1280 at 105.3 FM, the K-Zone. Your home for the most live games and local championships, Fitchburg and Leominster. Todd Robbins alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. K-Zone Game of the Week. Second quarter action underway here from the gym at Leominster High School. 7:45 to play in that second quarter. Leominster nursing a 13-11 lead. A pick on the possession starting for Leominster, and the Chieftains bring it up from right to left. A three-point opportunity for Payne. She sizes it up, she drills it, and the Chieftains have their first lead of the night. 30 seconds into the second quarter, they're up 14-13. Ball's deflected on its way to Adams. Adams, the push shot, got it on the rim, won't fall. Battle for the rebound. To the floor they go. McMahon comes up, check it. McNulty, held ball is the call. And on the alternate possession, the arrow favors the Chieftains.
Not sure anybody really had the ball, but too many bodies in. The officials did a good job. Let's call it a tie here, and let's get play back under control.
And quite the skid we heard Bill Thomas as they were coming into the front row.
I tell you, it was half of each team was over here on the floor in front of us. Good job by the officials, though, keeping everybody under control.
Got some very animated parents around us, however.
Pass into the paint is picked by Adams. Adams for Akachiri, up for Finnegan. Bounce pass to Faith Akachiri. Can't finish at the rim. Battle for the basketball. Run down by Faith Akachiri into a double team. And there's a foul coming across the arms. They say Akachiri was on the way up. She's got two shots coming from the line.
Good job by Faith there, missing that first layup, but going right back towards the basket with that putback, and gets a trip to the foul line.
Richard picks up her second team third of the first half for Nashoba.
Let's say hello to some folks joining us here on the K-Zone and RFM via social media tonight. A quick hello to Tim Conway, former assistant varsity girls basketball coach right here at Leominster High School. He says, "Go get 'em, Devils." Angela Thomas checking in, saying hello. Zimri Malve says hello to us as well. She's checking in on her way to the boys basketball game at Nashoba. We thank you all so very much for being a part of our audience tonight. Leominster 1 of 2 on the trip, knots the game at 14 with Akachiri at the line. The ball was tipped. And Leominster's going to keep the basketball half court right. 6:46 to play in the second quarter. The inbound for Faith Akachiri at the left elbow. Drops it to Ivana Akachiri. Swinging out to Cudahy. That one deflected by Payne. Worked its way down to Curran. And a loose basketball is run down by Cudahy. Inside to Akachiri from Akachiri. Layup no good. Ball out of bounds and back to Nashoba. 6.5 to play here in the second quarter. Teams knotted at 14. Bill Thomas, I think the inability to finish for both teams right now is a huge problem.
Number of layups missed there, but we're seeing some nice energy from Kylie Cudahy, and I think overall, I think Rusty's got to be happy with the overall energy that the team has put forth, especially undermanned and missing one of their starters. Couple of players a little under the weather, but to be knotted here 14-14 midway through the second quarter, so far so good.
Cotina Seabury spends her first time out of this one with 6:31 to play in quarter two, and the team's knotted at 14. Kate, it has been the treat we expected it to be for Leominster, given the fact that you've been somewhat turnover laden and unable to finish at the basket. You maintained a lead through most of the first quarter. You gave it up for a couple of seconds, and now you're knotted at 14. It's about the best situation you could have expected to be in, given those factors.
And as we thought, again, taking a look at the common opponents that both of these teams have played throughout the season, the thought was they were going to be fairly evenly matched, even though their records, their straight-up records didn't necessarily suggest that. As we said, 14-14 game with 6:31 remaining in the first half. Leominster is going to have to make some adjustments because you can see Nashoba making adjustments to try to tip the tide.
And here come Chieftains out of their own timeout into their half-court offense to the left. It's McNulty. Feeds foul line McMahon. Jumper for two. Got the back rim. High rebound. Faith Akachiri out jumps Curran. Down floor Cudahy avoids the swing on the defensive blow by and finishes at the rim and puts Leominster back on top by 2. 2 minutes gone by in the second quarter. It's Payne. Into the paint, Curran. Turn around, now corner. Touch pass through McNulty for Payne. three, back rim, no. Battle for the rebound is tied up, and the alternate possession favors Leominster this time around.
You know, Cudahy's showing some nice early minutes here, you know, playing mainly JV, and we see Tiff Boziaco on the court now. Oops, she took a seat, but she's showing some energy too on that defensive possession.
They haven't been afraid, Bill Thomas, when either Boziaco or Cudahy have gotten opportunities on the floor. They haven't looked like JV players that are starstruck. They look like varsity players ready to play.
And they bring that JV freshman energy that sometimes it just it wakes everybody on the team up.
Leominster throws that one away in their half-court offense, right in the ball back to Nashoba. 5.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter, and Leominster up 2. Leominster working that 2-3 extended zone. Cudahy and Adams up at the top of it. Shot 3 from the right wing won't go for Payne. Now back down floor. Cudahy has it taken away by Payne. And Payne back half-court left. McMahon now feeds corner. Playing catch back top of the key, McMahon. McNulty back to McMahon in the paint. Throw toward the boundary. Unable to reel it in was Richard. Lost it out of bounds and the ball back to Leominster.
2-3 zone, doing a good job of keeping the ball out of the middle right there, forcing Nashoba to work the perimeter. Turns it into a turnover.
Got some basketball royalty in the house today across the way, Todd.
Sorry, Kate, you've
Coach
got a better... that's who it is. I'm looking and I'm going, I can't see what she's looking at. Now I can see. Yes, former Leominster head coach Ron Mazzaferro, 26 years as the boys varsity basketball coach at Leominster. Retired shortly after the 99-2000 season. Back down Flore held basketball as Curly White got tied up with Richard.
They call it a travel.
Interesting. So they must have said that Richard had possession and walked with it. So Leominster's going to keep the ball half court right. And Adams will float inbounds for Ivana Akachiri. Bounces to her sister Faith. Won't get the layup to go. Too strong off glass, and the rebound up floor for McNulty. McNulty to Payne. Inside McMahon. Little push shot short of the mark. And Faith Akachiri with rebound.
Faith has been everywhere with the boards tonight.
Finnegan dribbles through the foul line. Left elbow, can't get the shot to go, and the rebound down in the hands of Burns. Up floor come the Chieftains, looking a little frustrated. McMahon tries to snap it inside, looking for Burns. It got deflected. They say last touched by the Chieftains. It's Leominster basketball.
Good job right there by Faith Akachiri on defense. She's getting her hand up in the passing zone there. Caused that deflection out of bounds off the Chieftain.
Fans in attendance, nary did they agree. They thought Leominster got the last piece of that one. 4:10 to play here in the second quarter.
Check the tape later.
That's right, Curly White for Adams. Adams working off the arc right, drops it off to Ivana Akachiri. Drive through the foul line, kick corner looking and kept alive by Finnegan, but into the hands of McNulty. McNulty, baseball pass, that floor, Payne, she converts! A pretty coast-to-coast transition basket for the Chieftains. Knotted at 16.
They don't come much prettier than that, Todd and Kate. On the fly, up and in.
Adams, shot 3 straight away, and she hits.
Gracie kind of quiet up to this point on the scoreboard.
Leominster back on top, 19-16. 3.5 to play here in the second quarter.
Grace Adams up to 8.
McNulty misses the jumper, rebound Ivana Akachiri. And now Leominster up floor in their half-court offense. Curly White, look post, ball deflected into the hands of McDonald. Bounces to Adams, in the middle of 4, Chieftains gets the shot up, count the basket, and 1.
Grace using her experience there to get down the lane, stay under control, nice little soft underhand layup.
Unreal play by Adams. Looked ill-advised off the dribble. I'm going to dribble this into the middle of 4 players wearing the wrong color uniform. She converts the layup and takes the foul. She'll go to the line looking for the extra point.
Burns will pick up her first. It's going to be team 4th of the first half for Nashoba.
Good body control going down the lane there.
Adams converts.
3 the old-fashioned way.
22-16, 3:10 play here in the second quarter.
She comes up with 6 quick points on the scoreboard. Doubles her output up to this point in the game.
Well done, Bill Thomas.
My math, sometimes it works.
Hashtag math.
Inside out passing sets up a Payne three. She banks it home from long distance.
Didn't call glass, but we'll give it to her anyway.
Indeed, they all count the same.
She's got 11 on the night thus far.
Coach described her as a sharpshooter. She's been everything as promised. The bounce entry from Cudahy to Ivana Akachiri, who lays in it off glass. 24-19 Leominster. 2.5 to play in the second quarter.
Great interior bounce pass right there from Cudahy.
McMahon goes face up and tries to snap it out to Honig. Too high and out of bounds. And the ball back to Leominster. An unforced error.
You know, you talk about some JV energy. I think Kylie is a perfect example of that right now. She's all over the court here in this second quarter.
So here comes Finnegan up floor, slowing down the action. Comes to the right side this time for Cudahy, playing catch around the rim. Curly White pulls up for long two, won't go. Ivana Akachiri the rebound. Now Cudahy, bounce for Finnegan, crossover dribble, through the foul line. Push shot, runner goes!
Nice.
26-19, everything coming up rosy for Leominster inside the last 4 minutes of this first half. A three jumper won't go for Richard, and the rebound down for Akachiri.
Two seniors stepping up along with some of that JV energy. It's producing a nice little lead here in the second quarter.
Cudahy, deep knee bend, launches the three too long from the left corner. Now everybody scrambles to get back in the play. Payne feeds McMahon over the rim. It won't go, and the rebound down for Leominster.
Got a bit of a tennis match going on right now.
Indeed we do, as we wind our way to the final 90 seconds of the first half. Curly White deflected to Akachiri. Into the post, a jumper from McDonald won't go. Ball last touched by Akachiri, and it will stay with Nashoba. 1:21 to play until halftime. Leominster the 26-19 lead here on the K-Zone game of the week. Coming up at the half on the K-Zone and Rivalry Family Media, we've got a lot of fun for you. Kate will do her tabulations, get you a first half stat recap, but we're also going to have a recap, Bill Thomas, of a great presentation that we got last night by the MIAA on the new statewide playoff format that has been proposed and will be voted on at the end of the month. All that coming up at the half. You're on the K-Zone game of the week.
If only I had a prep period and could go.
Into the corner. The jumper from Adams from the left will not go, and the rebound down for Payne. Under a minute to play here in the first half. It's McMahon. Feeds Richard. Richard into the post. Fed Richard. Took it strong, got fouled, and Lexi Richard goes to the line.
Richard, fed Richard. You stumbled on that one a little bit.
It made me do a double take. 5 and 15, the numbers as well don't help.
I saw that pregame.
Faith Akachiri picks up her first. It's going to be team third for the Blue Devils in the first half.
And the first one away, and we'll go for Lexi Richard. Vivamore will check back in. She's been playing spot duty tonight as she battles an illness. Ivana Akachiri, meanwhile, battles a ankle issue, so she's been on and off the floor. Lexi Richard can't get that one to go. Faith Akachiri, the rebound from the low left. Backcourt passing got deflected. It was run down by Finnegan, and she brings it up floor for Vivamore.
Throwing things. Sorry, guys.
But a 4-second differential shot clock to game clock. The float back and forth they go. Adams, the drive down the lane. She got fouled again. This one missed off of the left rim, but she got fouled in the act of shooting. It'll send Grace Adams to the line. Looks to add to Leominster's 6-point lead with 24 7/10 seconds remaining until halftime.
Payne's going to pick up her second, team fifth of the first half for Nashoba.
Only our 8th foul overall. Very well played game, well officiated game here. Girls are very active but staying under control.
Been a game of speed and space.
Has
Everybody
been. Back
moving
and
their way
forth.
up and down the floor with a lot of room to work.
Tennis match style.
Indeed, Adams 0 of 2 on the trip. Payne drops off to McNulty. McNulty forces it through the hands of Richard. It was deflected last by Leominster, and Nashoba will keep the basketball. 15 6/10 seconds remaining here in quarter 2. Coach Rusty Frederick does a little offense for defense. Faith Akachiri to the bench. Ava McDonald on the floor. Shot clock off the rest of the way until halftime. McNulty talking to the official. She'll inbound from the left sideline. Inbounds to McMahon. McNulty steps inside the arc, pulls up for the jumper. It doesn't go. Kick back out. Payne, a three from the right side. She hits. A 3-point game with 4 seconds until halftime.
That's her
Bosiago for Finnegan. Finnegan lunges at the buzzer. High off glass will not go. And that's the way the first half will end from inside the gym at Leominster High School. It's Leominster 26 and Nashoba 23 through one half of play here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Hometown Bank. Hometown Bank's free checking account works for you with free online bill pay, mobile check deposits, and over 4,000 free ATMs. Visit bankhometown.com or in Leominster, the local branch, Sack Boulevard, Leominster, and 7 other area locations to open your free account today. Halftime from the gym at Leominster High School here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. And RFM 26-23, Leominster on top of Nashoba. We're going to take a break on the K-Zone and RFM. We will be back with our halftime show next. Stay with us here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. Halftime here on the K-Zone, 26-23, Leominster on top of Nashoba in girls basketball here in a game that Leominster sorely needs a victory in, and Nashoba looks to improve their playoff position. Tomorrow here on the K-Zone, it's Bruins rivalry hockey as the Montreal Canadiens are the opposition. All the action right here from TD Garden starting at 7 o'clock here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM. Your home for the most live games. It's the K-Zone. And speaking of upcoming programming, right after us tonight here on the K-Zone Game of the Week, it's the Celtics pregame show as the Celts are on the road in Houston to take on the Rockets. That tip-off is scheduled for 9:30 Eastern Time. It will be right here on the K-Zone following this action here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM. At halftime, Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, happy to have you along with us. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Woodcomb Insurance. The right coverage at the right price with a local team ready to help. Online at woodcomb.com. Kate will have her stat recap and more coming up in a moment. But Bill Thomas, while she gets set with that, we will talk here courtside about this statewide MIAA tournament proposal. It's the most buzz I have seen about any MIAA-related programming. There's conversation going on at every level of high school athletics right now about the contents of this 15-page proposal that is being presented coming up at a special statewide assembly. So this statewide assembly is not a regularly scheduled event. It's something that has been called. They hold them very, very
Is this
rarely.
like a caucus?
Sort of, kind of. It would be more fun if they caucused. I will say that to determine
Try to
the winner.
tease people
yes,
over the
because
other
we
side.
need more
Offer them a
confusion.
bit of snacks over at their table in the gymnasium.
Yeah, where this will be held.
Fresh coffee.
Assabet Valley Regional Vocational
Yes,
Technical High
yes.
School will
Go
play
Aztecs.
host. February the 28th will be the vote day. One school, one vote, roughly 330 plus schools in the MIAA in the state of Massachusetts. 2 vote, They get to send one voting representative to the meeting to cast the vote on behalf of the entire school.
Is Kate going to be in charge?
Kate will be there. She'll be teaching.
At the door?
Up on the third floor. Yeah. But she hopes to get a
be
chance to bounce down there, get us some inside information. But this is
You
exciting.
see, all right, so you talk about the buzz.
Yes.
But the buzz can be on
I'll
either
be
side.
midterms.
Either side of the fence. Does the buzz seem positive, or is it not another system that we have to learn how to manage?
So far as I can tell, the buzz, Bill Thomas, whether I've talked to coaches, players, ADs, administrators, is positive. This is a good thing, a step forward for the MIA. Credit to Joanna DiCarlo. She's the athletic director at Westboro High School. We get a chance to see her at least once a year, somewhere during the football season. She was the MIAA rep from the Tournament Management Committee that made presentation for Central Massachusetts last night. It was held at Algonquin Regional, and Kate and I had an opportunity to attend. Handful of coaches and ADs from around the region took the trip out to hear the proposal. From what AD DiCarlo told us, they've been presenting this to the ADs as it's been being developed, because I asked her about the turnout, as I thought it was maybe a little low for such a serious proposal. But she said most ADs have been at meetings where this has been presented. They are looking to more and more present to as many places as they possibly can so that people understand what the Tournament Management Committee is recommending. And that recommendation...
So what's the Reader's Digest version is more teams or less?
So the idea is...
So why should we be excited about this?
So here's what they're saying is the excitement, and you could hear it in my voice. This is an MIA proposal
I'm all
that
new to this,
excites me.
Make me feel excited about this.
Here's the deal. Every sport, doesn't matter, tiddlywinks to football, will follow the following system, okay? It will be a system that is rated. They have already made a commitment to Max Preps. You may have heard of this website. They rate players, they rate teams.
All across the country.
All across the country in
state by state.
Just about every sport you can come up with.
Been there, good stat site.
So Max Preps, although I have previously called it the Wikipedia of high school athletics, it is going to be kept by a staff that is going to be professional, both athletic directors at the different schools in Massachusetts, as well as paid sport representatives that will make sure that the data goes in correctly. That program, Max Preps, will then use their magical formula, and yes, that's not sarcasm. I was told it is a proprietary 35-page worth of code algorithm that determines rankings for everybody. And they'll be able to be broken out in any combination that they want. And the key combination is going to be 32 teams, statewide 32 team tournaments. Teams will be rated from 1 to 32. If you're rated by Max Preps, number 1 to number 32, you qualify for the postseason, Bill Thomas, in whatever sport we're talking about, save for football, where 32 may not be a reasonable number. They're talking more about 8 or 16 statewide. But I digress, at a different level of divisions. But all the other sports, 1 to 32 will be the ratings. And the only other way to qualify for the playoffs would be to meet the current standard, which is win 500 or more percentage of your games. So if you are playing 20 games, you win 10, you're in. But you're not in. You qualify for the play-in round. And numbers 26 will play 5 or 6, and they'll match them up until they get it down to the numbers 1 to 32. Then the playoffs begin, 32 plays, 1 on down the line. Every sport will follow this, and it's statewide rated. No more sections.
Did you say including football?
Including football.
So if you're 500 in football, no more this percentage points, wins, losses,
Sullivan rule, which is a popular MIA
step
term.
a foot out. What do they call that? Weston.
The Walker system.
Walker foot, whatever it was. No more of that.
That's gone.
So everybody's the same.
Statewide.
So how do the divisions match up?
So they're going to modify ultimately how many divisions there are. Each sport will get to determine their number of divisions. They're picturing it to be between 1 and 3, depending on sport, statewide.
And then 32 teams ultimately from those across those 3 divisions?
No, 32 teams in each
division
will qualify.
See, I'm confused already.
Yeah, it's complicated. The bottom line is...
I can see where football will be a little less.
Football's going to be less. They're talking about 16 teams, and they're talking about football reducing from 8 divisions down to 5 divisions in order to make this work. So we'll, squeeze a lot of teams into previously, unheard of combinations. Think that 6 division year we had, but they'll be rated statewide.
Be interesting to see how. I want to see it in action.
The alternative.
Come fall.
The Reader's Digest version of the alternative. If you don't buy into this, you don't vote yes.
Stop complaining.
They go back to the previous system where they're going to take teams from Eastern Mass, shove them to Central, and Central Mass team will get shoved
don't
west.
even go there.
And they'll still be rated by the Max Prep system, Bill Thomas, just in their differing parts of the state.
Don't get me going.
So the statewide tournament proposal, we'll be talking a lot more about it as we get closer and closer to this vote coming up on February 28th.
If everybody's on board with it, let's go with it.
And
as long as it's uniform and statewide.
That seemed to be the overall kind of picture coming out of last evening. We begin second half action here from the gym at Leominster High School. Chieftains with the basketball going left to right as we start third quarter action. 26-23 Leominster on top. As we start, ball got knocked out of bounds. Was there a foul call, Kate?
Foul called. It's going to be on Kaya Curly White. It'll be her second, team first of the second half.
So Chieftains keep the basketball with a fresh 30, half court right. Shot up and will not go for McMahon. The rebound for Richard. Floats it in the post for Peyton Richard. Can't get that one to go, and Akachiri's got herself a rebound. Back up floor comes Curly White. Through Akachiri, then Adams to Finnegan. Pulls up for a 3, says see the 3, be the 3. She buries that one, and it's a 29-23 Leominster lead.
Starting the second half just like she started the game.
Runs through the pick on the defense end. It's Adams for Finnegan. Tried to bank it in, couldn't get it to go. The rebound for McMahon, and right back up floor come the Chieftains. End-to-end goes the action. It's been that way all night long. If you're just joining us here on the K-Zone as McNulty lines up a 3 and responds back to a 3-point game, 29-26. 1 minute gone by in the third quarter.
Fast action tonight.
Indeed there was. We'll get caught up on Kate's stats coming up at our next stoppage in play. Curly White for Akachiri. Couldn't finish at the rim. Got the rim this time, a second opportunity. Kept alive on the baseline, and the ball back to Chieftains. Down floor, it's Richard who lays it in and good, and Coach Rusty Frederick takes a timeout in a 1-point game. 6:31 to play in the third quarter. Leominster's lead down to 1 at 29-28.
Technical foul here, Todd. I think Rusty had a little conversation with the official on the sideline there. That's what that call was. I saw him look over, called 2-shot technical on the bench.
Thank you, Bill Thomas, for the pickup there. I thought he had asked for a timeout behind the play.
He was asking for something, but I don't think it was a timeout.
Perhaps it was not, and so that sends McNulty to the line. She hits the first of 2 technical free throws to tie the game at 29. Chance for the Chieftains to take the lead. Pretty spin off the left-handed shot for McNulty, and she gets it to go. The Chieftains with only their second lead of the night at 30-29.
And possession also for the Chieftains. This could be a big turnaround right here.
Ill-advised technical foul taken by Coach Rusty Frederick. Just about 90 seconds into this third quarter. It's McMahon for Payne. Around the horn, and it works its way into the post for Peyton Richard, who sets up Jillian Payne, can't get the shot to go. Ball run down, kept alive by Callie McMahon. She'll keep it in bounds for Finnegan. Finnegan checking over her shoulder as she comes up half court to the left. And now Adams through Akachiri and White, and then Finnegan. Everybody gets a touch as Faith Akachiri goes inside out. Curly White, now Finnegan, baseline drive, dropped it in the post. There was nobody there. Ball picked off Peyton Richard. Up floor for McNulty. Kept it alive. Set up a Payne 3. She hit, but it's whistled dead. Traveling violation, and the ball back to Leominster.
Shuffled the feet right there, right before the shot.
The green and gold crowd didn't like that one. 5:49 to play in the third, and they have a 1-point lead.
Fairly certain the fans behind us are trying to drown us out, but we got headsets on. May have overheard that.
Tim Conway chips in, by the way. His thoughts on the MIAA playoffs? Who cares?
Another system.
It's too complicated anyway.
That's Timmy Conway.
We just figured out the other one.
You could shout us out on this broadcast. A like or a follow will get you to be a part of this one at Media Rivalry. Faith Akachiri with steal.
Talk about
drive,
doing it all.
and lay in.
She gets on the scoreboard and the stat sheet 3 different ways right there. Nice job, I think.
Leominster reclaims a 1-point lead. Ball tipped to the floor. Ruled the held ball. Appeared to be still moving. Alternate possession. Ball back to Leominster. 5:08 to play in the third quarter. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Rhino Linings of Leominster. You can protect your new vehicles from the elements with Rhino Linings, the nation's #1 bed liner brand, and New England Undercoat. If you drive in New England, undercoat it at Rhino Linings, Mechanic Street in Leominster. Ball was tipped on the entry float. Richard up floor finds McNulty, who finishes at the rim and puts the Chieftains back on top. Under 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
McNulty up to 12 points on the night.
Ball tipped along the boundary. McNulty tried to make the defensive play. Ball was last touched by her, and it will be Leominster basketball. And Bill Thomas just confirmed this is a timeout.
I was gonna point that out.
Thank you, yes.
This one is a timeout.
My goodness, Coach Rusty Frederick did take a timeout here with 4:44 to play in the third quarter. The Chieftains, a 32-31 mark on top of Leominster. Kate, we were so busy in halftime getting people caught up on this MIAA playoff system coming up. Didn't get a chance to catch up on your stats.
All right, let's take a look at team totals first for Nashoba. 16 rebounds, 2 steals, 11 turnovers in the first half. First half stats, obviously these have changed. McNulty has added 7 points onto her point total, so she's up to 12. McNulty in the first half, 5 points, Richard with 1, Payne with 14, and Honig with 3. For Leominster on their side of the ball, 20 rebounds, 3 steals, 14 turnovers. Finnegan in the first half, 8 points, Cudahy with 2, Adams with 11, Akachiri with 2, and then Faith Akachiri with 3 in the first half.
And Leominster had the halftime lead by 1. They now trail by 1. 4.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. They have the ball, half court left. Adams off the dribble, pulls up her 3, won't go. Long rebound for Finnegan, only one there. She launches up a 3 that won't go. Honig rips down the rebound, keeps it alive, and moves the ball up floor through McMahon. Now McMahon through a triple team for Payne. A 3, she sees it and buries it. Largest lead of the night for Nashoba at 35-31.
She felt that one, holding her hand up there like a swan, just waiting for it to fall through the net.
That's her 5th 3 on the night.
Adams back down the defense, but then missed everything. Back up floor, into the post. McMahon scrapes the back of the rim and rolls it through. The lead expands to 37-31 Chieftains.
Nashoba right now exploding on the offensive stat sheet. Right now, McNulty doing yeoman's work for the Chieftains. Payne, obviously, huge contribution with that 3.
Finnegan, foul line, Vivamore. Dribble into a triple team, got the room, made the lay-in go, cuts the lead to 4. Right back down floor. Payne gets an open look, and she hits once again.
How many? 6 threes for her?
Cannot
6.
leave an uncontested 3 in front of Jillian Payne. She will make you feel the pain. Meanwhile, back down floor, Ivana Akachiri responds with a 3 of her own, and it's once again a 4-point basketball game. McNulty back down floor, got an opportunity to 3, missed, long rebound, dribbled away by Adams. 2:50 to play in the third quarter. 40-36 as Adams tried the pass entry. It got knocked down. McNulty leaked up down floor, couldn't finish at the rim. McDonald the rebound. The outlet through Finnegan for Adams. Back up for Finnegan, and she walked with it again. And the ball back to Nashoba.
Whistle.
A busy night all around. The crowd has this
like
stark
silent.
hush between plays.
Thought something happened.
Perhaps they themselves catching their breath. Bill Thomas has been plenty to cheer about for both sides tonight. McMahon with a beautiful find of Honig down the lane. Honig up strong, got fouled by Akachiri, and Honig's going to the line for 2.
Nice wraparound bounce pass right there. Great entry-level pass right.
Faith picks up her 2nd. It's going to be team 3rd of the second half for the Blue Devils.
And that sends David Honig to the line, the freshman guard. 2:27 to play here in the third quarter. She'll hit the first. 41-36 Nashoba's lead. And she goes 2 of 2 on the trip. That's what you do when you're at the foul line, Bill Thomas. You take advantage of free opportunities.
Nothing but net for the freshman.
Finnegan will leave it for Adams, half court left. Adams with the right hand dribble. Bounces it to Faith Akachiri. She struggled to crowd, but did eventually get control. Now through Finnegan into the post for Vivamore. Shot too strong off glass. Up floor, McNulty, a 3. She hit again, and another one gets waved off on a traveling violation. Coach Tina Seabury is arguing it's a jump stop, and the official not buying the argument. Hard to tell from our angle, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the opposite side of the court. They had the best looks. It's that James Harden step back. I mean, when are you stationary, when are you moving?
Finnegan, opportunity for 3 straight away. It brings rain, but it goes. .140 to play in the third quarter. It's 42-39 Nashoba. McMahon, a 3, won't go. Adams got the weak side rebound. Right up floor, Vamori, head fake. She got bumped.
Fans want to travel on every play now.
Gillian Payne having a conversation with the officials on the floor about the jump stop. Meanwhile, they've got to report in the foul. They will report the foul against Payne as Kylie Cudahy will enter the basketball game.
So Payne's going to pick up her third. It's going to be team first of the second half for Nashoba.
K-Zone Game of the Week. Happy to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com, and with our partners. Streaming to Facebook Live on RFM. Game available coming up on demand on YouTube. Search Rivalry Family Media. This one too strong off front rim. Battle for the baseline. It was tipped, lost out of bounds, and the ball back to Nashoba. 1:15 to play here in the third quarter. Leominster goes to full court pressure. Broken immediately by the Chieftains. It's McNulty. Had it poked away. Got it back. Swung it back top of the key. Peyton Ritchie a 3. Back rim, no. The rebound and a third opportunity on the possession for Current. Current sets up Honig. Back rim, it won't fall. Battle for the rebound. Last touch Chieftains. Ball to Leominster. 1 minute flat to play in the third quarter. Finnegan comes up floor. She drops it off for Adams. 50 seconds to play here in the third quarter, about a 20-second differential. Ball got tipped, battle toward the far left corner. Held ball, alternate possession, Chieftain basketball. It'll be a 15-second differential on this reset, shot clock and game clock. Up floor comes McNulty. Chieftains pass around the arc. McNulty bangs home a 3. 45-39 Chieftains.
That's her third 3 on the night.
A 1-second differential, shot clock to game clock. They now say shot clock off. 20 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Cudahy goes cross-court bounce, got it to Adams but barely. Now Akachiri, for Akachiri, kicked basketball. Leominster will get a chance to reset their offense, half court left. 12 and 4/10 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Chasing a 45-39 Chieftain lead. A box stack. Adams for Ivana Akachiri. Tipped by McNulty. McNulty with 8 seconds. Lays it in with the left hand and good. 47-39 Chieftains. 3 seconds to play in the quarter. Ivana Akachiri, a 3 that was good if it went. It did not. And that's 3 quarters in the books from the gym at Leominster High School, with Nashoba establishing a commanding 47-39 lead, and it all happened in quarter 3, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and a tough way to end that quarter right there with that turnover and that fast break of the Chieftains just to widen that out a little bit. But chipping away and showing why they're one of the top teams there in Central Mass, and I think just a little too much now as they keep throwing bench at him, and I'll tell you, the outside shooting in that third quarter by the Chieftains was just lights out.
Your K-Zone morning commute with Travis and Sherman, weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for your best in local news, weather, talk, sports, to keep you informed and entertained to start your day. That's the K-Zone morning commute, mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Travis and Sherman. Coming up this Thursday, Travis and Sherman have a visit with State Representative Natalie Higgins during their 8 o'clock hour. That's coming up on your drive this Thursday morning in the 8 o'clock hour. State Representative Natalie Higgins here on the K-Zone as part of the K-Zone morning commute. Fourth quarter of action on deck here on the K-Zone Game of the Week, AM 1280, 105.3 FM and WPKZstream.com. Happy to have you along with us. DJ Derek Drown back at Master Control, pushing the buttons, making the magic happen. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins with the stats as well. And Kate, huge turnaround in the third quarter that favored the green and gold.
Yes, you can certainly attribute that to McNulty. She picked up 10 points in the third quarter alone, and Grace Adams for Leominster kept to nothing. She's their high scorer in most games, kept to no points in the third quarter. That's where you're going to see that flip-flop. Leominster up by 3 at the half, down by 8 after the third quarter.
Honig with smothering defense, poked it away from Cudahy, and then got a little too close with basketball, got loose, whistled for a foul. 7:50 to play here in the fourth quarter. 47-39. The Chieftain lead. Finnegan. Foul line. Akachiri to Akachiri. They try to go back up top. It was deflected, but got to Finnegan. And now a 3 in the key call. It goes against Leominster. A pair of Akachiris had parked themselves inside the box.
I think they were expecting a shot up there from the outside, never got it. Just lost track of time in there.
30 seconds gone by in the final frame. Square to the hoop. Richard, inside out, sets up Peyton Richard, who buries a 3 from the right corner. 50-39, Chieftains the first to the half a century mark. Here's Finnegan for Adams. 3 on the left side. Hit the basket, support, won't go, but a rebound run down by Faith Akachiri. Cross court for Kylie Cudahy. A line drive 3, won't go. But Akachiri, another rebound. She cleans this one up, lays it in and good, cuts the lead to 9.
And just finding a way to get those putbacks.
Off the dribble, that one won't go for Lexi Richard. Rebound run down by McMahon. Turnaround shot short of the rim, and the rebound run down by Adams. Adams up floor, finds Finnegan, too strong. And the rebound down in the hands of McMahon. Back up floor. Off the dribble. It's Richard. Out to Honig. A 3. In and out it goes. Battle for the loose ball. Foul on the rebounding action. This one will go on Peyton Richard. And the ball will stay with Leominster. 6:22 to play in the fourth.
Richard picks up her first. It's going to be team third of the second half.
K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by ROI Office Furniture. How would you like to save up to 70% on office furniture, workstations, seating, and more? ROI Furniture in Fitchburg, your complete business furniture source. Learn more at roioffice.com. Vivamore, a 3 from the left side. Off the inbound, won't go. Battle to the baseline. First signal was a held ball. Second signal was out of bounds on the baseline. The ball to Nashoba.
That was quite the pileup under the basket there.
Indeed it was.
4 Nashoba girls and 3 Blue Devils.
From the corner, Peyton Richard with a big leg kick. Too strong off the far side of the rim, and the rebound run down by Adams. Adams for Finnegan, 5:45 to play in the fourth quarter. Adams, the drive, drew the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Taking that strong to the hoop.
That's going to be Richard's third. It's going to be team fourth of the second half.
Adams couldn't get that one to roll. 5:42 to play in the fourth quarter. Leominster chasing 9. Tiffany Boziaco will spell Kylie Cudahy.
And again, the big difference in this second half, Grace Adams right now scoreless for Leominster.
And she remains that way. 0 of 2 from the line on that trip. A 3 from the left side won't go for Payne. Putback opportunity for McMahon is good. And the lead returns to 11 at 52-41. And now Coach Rusty Frederick will take the timeout with Adams with the ball in the front court. 5:24 to play in the fourth quarter. A 52-41 Nashoba lead.
Blue Devils going to have to find a way to pick up the pace here a little bit and find somebody to put the ball in the basket. You know, Skylar Finnegan's done a pretty good job, but Gracie Adams got to find a way to get the ball through the hoop. His time winding down in the game.
Well, and the difficulty for Leominster becomes in second quarter, in part of the first half, Finnegan kind of went cold for a little bit. Grace Adams had 11 after the first half, but again, Grace Adams held scoreless in the second half for Leominster. On the flip side of the ball for Nashoba, both McNulty and Payne have been absolutely red hot in both halves. We talked about it earlier on. Payne right now with 6 threes. She's hit 6 from deep. McNulty with 3 of her own. And then you get 3 contributions along the perimeter from Honig and from Richard. And right now, any time Leominster attempts to go get some momentum, right now Nashoba between McNulty and Payne have the answer to be able to answer right back. Leominster not able to get any traction going in the second half.
And that has certainly made the difference. We saw this in a game earlier this season against Algonquin for these girls as well. If you have a strong first half, you put yourself in contention to win the basketball game, and come out flat in the third quarter, it's all for naught if they can overcome that lead. Ball to the low post. It's Vivamore up strong. Drew foul. Vivamore will go to the line, energizing the Blue Devil bench.
That's the way to do it. Draw some fouls. That's 4th foul.
Lexi Richard picks up her
Richard.
4th. Yes, it's going to be team 5th of the second half.
One of the senior leaders for the Chieftains draws her 4th. Vivamore converts at the line. Makes it a 10-point basketball game with 5:12 to play in the fourth quarter.
Vivamore fairly quiet tonight for the Blue Devils. 3 points thus far. Make it 4.
Yeah, she'll rattle home her 4th. 52-43. 5:10 to play in the fourth quarter.
Clock has not started. Yep, there it goes. Our clock started.
McNulty takes it down lane left side, didn't convert, but McMahon got a rebound, waited for the opportunity with the defense to blow by, and she finished at the rim as we wind under 5 minutes to play here in the fourth. Vivamore waited for something to develop, took a long jumper from the right wing and missed. 4:45 to play in the fourth quarter. Here come the Chieftains. They have showed no signs of slowing things down in this 11-point game. Lexi Richard, the drive, and rattles that one home off the rim.
She had that look like she was going to go up and jam it. She had that determination coming through the lane.
Well, she's going to have to be so careful on the defensive end when she gets a chance on the offensive end. She's got to let out some steam.
Finnegan drives. She was pushed off the basket by about 2 players. Could not get an angle on a shot. Battle for the loose ball on the floor. Alternate possession. Favors green and gold. Nashoba basketball. Coming up later this month, it's the 54th season of Red Sox baseball here on the K-Zone. You can tune in for the first broadcast of Red Sox baseball of 2020 from spring training on Saturday, February the 21st, right here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM. Your home for the most live games, the K-Zone, WPKZ.
I heard a rumor. Red Sox have a manager finally.
Interim.
They do. Interim.
Interim,
The
of
big
course.
I.
Isn't everybody interim?
In public education, we'd like to think so. 4 minutes to play
interim.
here in the fourth quarter. 56-43. Nashoba on top of Leominster. Curly White finds Adams. Strong take. Couldn't get that one to go, but Adams will have 2 shots from the line.
There's no luck for Adams here in the second half. See if she can't do something from the foul line.
Honig picks up her 2nd. It's going to be team 6th of the second half for Nashoba.
Say hello to Kelly Rooney, who says go Blue Devils out there. How about
Rooney
former
fan.
Pittsburgh Athletic Director Ray Kazenza? Checks in, says hello. First one goes for Adams at the line. Maddie Wernan, Robert Paul, and a whole host of others We thank you all so very much for being a part of our family. Live stream on Rivalry Family Media and WPKZstream.com. Drop us a line, give us a like or follow. We'll shout you out tonight. Adams goes 2 of 2 on the trip. Leominster back on defense, facing 11. McMahon takes it to the lane. That won't go. Got her own rebound against 3 Blue Devils. Great determination by McMahon. Couldn't get the second opportunity to go either. Curly White, left-handed 3, back rim, no. Rebound pulled down by Payne as she was able to step through a couple of bodies. She'll slow the tide. The drive. Nolte got fouled. They count the basket.
Good job right there, taking advantage of some flat-footed Blue Devils defenders.
She's up to 17 points on the night.
McNulty has had a great night all around, Kate, not just with the 17 points offensively, but you have to also account for her defensive play as well and the floor leadership.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm in a basilica.
Left-handed shot goes as well. It's that awkward moment before church begins. 3:10 to play in the fourth quarter, 59-45. Chieftain lead. Finnegan for Adams in the triple threat position. Dribbles, top of the key. Can't get the 3 to go, off glass. Curly White tried to bang it off a defender. She missed, and the ball was picked by Peyton Richard. Under 3 minutes to play here in quarter 4. Head fake, drive. Richard for McNulty, into the post McMahon.
Beautiful
Out
passing.
for Richard, a 3, too strong, back rim. Rebound Ivana Akachiri, and she double dribbled with it. The ball back to Nashoba, an unforced error charged to Leominster. Kylie Cudahy will check in the basketball game to spell Curly White. Payne with the inbound. It got tipped. Akachiri, the make good pick. Coast to coast she goes, lays it in and good. 59-47 Nashoba's lead, 2:32 to play in the fourth, and a timeout taken by Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick. Leaves him with just 2 to get the rest of the way.
Couple of possessions, couple of defensive stands, and a turnover or 2. I'm sure Rusty is telling his girls, let's take this one possession at a time.
Every Thursday at noon here on the K-Zone, it's the local sports lunchbox with Ethan Winter and Coach Tony Gannon. You can find past local sports lunchboxes online at kzonereplay.com. That's every Thursday, noon to 1, the local sports lunchbox with Tony Gannon and Ethan Winter, right here on the K-Zone. And then, of course, the Varsity Show. Sunday mornings here on the K-Zone from 11 to noon. Howie Kahn and crew. It's the Scholastic Sports Zone. Get you caught up with their coach and player of the week, as well as all of the different reporters, myself and Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins included from time to time. Scholastic Sports Zone, 11 to noon, Sundays here on the K-Zone with Howie Kahn and crew.
Howie's calling himself the Varsity Crew now?
He has for a long time, Bill Thomas.
I love it.
Adams is going to pick up her first team 5th for Leominster in the second half.
Ball into the post was tipped. Loose ball coming up floor. It was last touch, they say, by a Chieftain. Jill Payne a little frustrated, but Leominster will keep the basketball on the right boundary. The bounce, Adams, offensive foul. Great play by Lexi Richard. She slid in front, set her feet, and absorbed the contact. Textbook defense to take the charge.
Adams will pick up her second. It'll be team 6th for Leominster.
Payne with full court pressure in front of her. Drops it off to McNulty. Pretty dribbling. Coast through the line, tipped out of bounds. She had last touch. Faith Akachiri got her hand on the ball, and the ball will go back to Leominster.
Nice defensive job right there by Faith. Tipped the ball and tipped it right into the Nashoba player as they fell out of bounds.
Final 2 minutes of this K-Zone game of the week. Finnegan, the runner, pushed and banked in. A 10-point game.
She's up to 16 points on the night.
The Lady Devils trail the Chieftains 59-49. Up floor, Leicester will give the foul. It's Ivana Akachiri.
I didn't do anything. About holding hands up. I didn't grab her. She ran into me.
If Akachiri was concerned that maybe there was the perception that the foul was maybe a little too hard, she's like, I'm sorry, it's okay.
Not intentional.
It's okay, yeah, no. She needed to give the foul. That was, had to happen in order to stop the clock. 1:47 play in the fourth.
Chieftains shooting the 1-and-1 here. Blue Devils in the bonus. 7 fouls.
First team in the bonus tonight. First half was very clean on the sheet.
Quite.
That one won't go for McNulty. Battle for the loose ball. Pushed toward the left boundary and not able to keep it alive. It'll be Nashoba basketball. Curly White back in. Cudahy out. 1:41 to play here in the fourth quarter. To midcourt goes the inbound and Richard. Richard had it tipped into the backcourt. Was able to run it down was Lexi Richard, and Faith Akachiri reaches and gives the foul.
That'll be her third. It's going to be team 8th.
94 seconds to the final buzzer of regulation. Leominster chasing 10. And Coach Tina Seabury will take a timeout. 1:34 to play in quarter 4. It's 59-49. Nashoba with the lead, and Bill Thomas, a loss tonight for Leominster. About 94 seconds from now means their playoff hopes are dashed, but the season far from over.
Oh, far from over. They still got a couple of matchups here. Quick look at their schedule going forward. Shepherd Hill, Millbury, and at Mahar, they can still try to set the tone for next year. They are losing a lot of seniors, but I imagine the underclassmen is going to get maybe a little extra playing time here as the season winds down, and kind of see what they got for next year. But I think Rusty's still got the good bones for a program going forward, even though he's going to be losing a lot of senior talent after this graduation year.
Kate, Bill Thomas talks about it. You're building on next year an opportunity. It's never too early to get that opportunity. Leominster's going to graduate a whole roster of seniors. How difficult is that to determine? Do you play the seniors, or do you have to work for the future and play those underclassmen?
I think that you have to play your seniors. I mean, they are what got you to this point in the season, and you have to rely on them and continue to have their leadership. So I think you'll see that. I think you'll also see a bit of a balance as well. A lot of young talent for the Blue Devils. So we'll see.
Finnegan throws the ball away. It's picked by Payne. 1:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Chieftains with the basketball. Coach Frederick is saying, give the foul, give the foul. Leominster not able to do it. And now Adams will give the foul with 17 to shoot, but the Chieftains were able to run around and milk the clock down to 1:13 to play in quarter 4.
That'll be Adams' third. It's going to be team 9th.
Still shooting the 1-1.
Yep.
Next K-Zone Game of the Week broadcast comes your way next Monday night. Boys hockey, Leominster's Blue Devils and the North Middlesex Patriots on the ice at the Wallace Civic Center. 6:30 next Monday night. Dan and Dan on the call here on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. Tune in for that one. The Frozen Ponds getting closer to playoff action as well. Akachiri, the drive, can't get the shot to go. Rebounding action. Leominster will give the foul. 61-49, Nashoba's lead. 1:02 to play here in quarter 4. Coming up post-game, Kate will recap all the stats for you. We'll preview some upcoming action, and then it's off to Celtics pregame as the Celtics get set to battle the Rockets in Houston. Tip-off 9:30 Eastern Time. We'll have all the action for you here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM.
Faith Akachiri picks up her 4th team limit of the half.
First one will go for Richard. Chieftains well on their way to their 14th victory as we set off the top of the broadcast tonight. A long road to hoe to catch Marlborough in Midwatch B, but they could certainly improve their seeding position with the win and everyone thereafter. Of course, get themselves set for a playoff run as we go under a minute here in the fourth quarter. And Finnegan throws that one away. 50 seconds to play here in fourth quarter. It's McMahon for McNulty. Coach Frederick chooses to defend. They're just going to defend closely here. There's about an 18-second differential shot clock to game clock. 10 seconds to shoot. McNulty finds Lexi Richard. Jump stop through a defend, call the travel, and the ball back to Leominster. 32 and 6/10 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. There'll be a 2-second, almost 3-second differential shot clock to game clock on the inbound. Bosiaco gets the inbound. Up floor for Faith Akachiri. Under 30 seconds to play in this one. Ivana Akachiri, the runner, too strong. Faith Akachiri, the rebound put back, missed as well. And the rebound down for Lexi Richard. Now McNulty takes it into the front court. Shot clock is off. 15 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Chieftains calling out a play as they dribble around, trying to dribble out the final 7 seconds. Lexi Richard will tuck the ball under her arm. Ivana Akachiri will defend for the final 7/10 seconds. And that's the way this one will end. Nashoba, a comeback victory after a tough first half, battles their way back in with a huge third quarter and puts Leominster away in the fourth. 63-49, Nashoba a winner in our K-Zone game of the week tonight.
And he said it all, Todd. Huge third quarter pretty much was the difference here. Good first half by the Blue Devils. They just couldn't sustain that energy, and that third quarter made all the difference. The outside shooting, the three-point shooting for the Chiefs, and just carry them to that double-digit lead, which they never gave up.
As we mentioned moments ago, the Chieftains improved to 14-4. They'll remain 6-1 in Mid-Watch B. Leominster will pick up their 11th loss of the season. They will be 5-11 overall, still 2-5 in Mid-Watch A, and now mathematically eliminated from playoff contention here in the 2019-2020 basketball season. So a tough situation there for Leominster's girls, to say the least. 63-49, Nashoba tops Leominster on our K-Zone game of the week. We will step aside. We will be back with more coming up here from courtside here at the gym at Leominster High School. Kate's got your stat recap coming up as we continue on the K-Zone game of the week. We got more to come. This is the K-Zone game of the week here on WPKZ. What's that? For those of you joining us here on Rivalry Family Media, we'll be back with our K-Zone radio partners coming up in a matter of moments. Kate will have her post-game stats coming up, and then we will have a courtside interview with Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick. Stay with us here on Rivalry Family Media. More to come, including Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick courtside. Back to our courtside broadcast position here on the K-Zone, AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and with you here on Rivalry Family Media and WPKZ streaming as well. So many ways to play, Kate. It's impossible not to find a way to connect with this one. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Northeast Insurance, supporting Clear Path for Veterans New England's Community Center at Devens, supports families and provides connections to the latest in wellness options. We owe it to them to do our part by supporting them. Donate now, clearpathne.org, sponsored by Northeast Insurance Agency. K-Zone game of the week, 63-49. Nashoba a winner in girls basketball tonight here on the K-Zone as our post-game coverage rolls on here courtside from the gym at Leominster High School. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, happy to have you with us all night long. And Kate, you've got your stat recap for us come up, and the numbers will bear it out. Leominster struggled in the early going, then got themselves organized, were able to work their way forward, and then ultimately not able to finish quote unquote things off when it came down. That third quarter was a real tough situation for Leominster all around.
I think you're absolutely right there. First half, Leominster did a very nice job keeping things even, especially after the first quarter. It was a tie ball game. Leominster actually up by 3 at the half, but Nashoba makes incredible adjustments in the second half. Number one, Grace Adams held scoreless in the third quarter for the Blue Devils. She only had 2 points in the fourth quarter, and both of them came from the free throw line. On the converse, on the flip side of things, McNulty absolutely explodes in the second half for Nashoba. She had 5 points in the first half. She ends her night at 18. That means 13 second half points for McNulty. In my eyes, that's the difference in this ball game. Grace Adams, it's cold in the second half for Leominster, and McNulty absolutely on fire. Any heat that Grace Adams had, McNulty took it.
And I'll tell you, she played a phenomenal night, did Abby McNulty. I was impressed with her ball handling skills, her poise. I mean, that's what you get in a senior leader, particularly a senior leader that is going to go on and play women's soccer at Boston University at Division I level. Clearly, I'm sure that poise, footwork, and of course, tonight, her ball handling skills with her hands as well just go to show you the kind of athlete she is. We knew it would be an athletic display, particularly from 3 future Division I athletes in the starting 5 for Nashoba, and they put on a show, although they struggled in the first half. This was by no means a cakewalk for the Chieftains tonight.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You saw Leominster give a phenomenal effort, especially through 3 quarters. Obviously, the fourth quarter things started to become a little bit more clear. But one of the things I want to mention is that those athletes, the Division I athletes that you're talking about for Nashoba, I want to make mention of one thing. The sports that we're talking about for those student athletes are not the sport that we have going on right now. And so when you think about that and those contributions that those athletes are making to multiple sports, it really does. It harkens back to all the 3 sport athletes. Coaches love a 2 or 3 sport athlete because even though you may not be specializing in one, it makes you incredibly well-rounded and well-versed in athletics all around. We got fans saying hi.
Well, how about former
that's quite
alumni?
The fan.
That's former alumni.
That's quite the fan.
Katie Kerouac.
Yes.
We'll get her here.
The illustrious.
Courtside at some point.
The illustrious Katie Kerouac.
Without a doubt. Part of a great team, including Carrie Conway, Carrie Lake, and so many others, a host of others from back in the day. So it was a lot of fun. Always good to see them here courtside as well. Here at the gym at Leominster High School. 63-49, Nashoba a winner tonight as we continue on with our K-Zone Game of the Week post-game show. Kate, you've got your stat recap coming up here before we'll step aside for a final word.
All right, let's take a look at team totals first. First, for the Leominster Blue Devils, 34 rebounds on the night, 7 steals, 26 turnovers. That's a number that they have been struggling with. For individual notable statistics, Skylar Finnegan ends the night with a hefty 16 points. Cudahy with 2. Adams ends the night with 13. 11 of those points, again, coming in the first half. Ivana Akachiri for the Blue Devils ends the night with 7. Her sister Faith also with 7. It's an Akachiri 7 and 7 there. And Viva More ends the night with 4. As a team, 7 of 11 from the free throw line. They shot 64% from the charity stripe. If we take a look on the other side of the ball for the Chieftains, 34 rebounds, 4 steals, and 23 turnovers for the Lady Chieftains. They shot 10 of 11 from the free throw line. That's 91% from the free throw line. If we take a look at individual statistics, McMahon ends the night with 6. Lexi Richard ends the night 3 of 3 from the line, a total of 7 points. McNulty ends the night with 18 points. She was 3 of 4 from the line. Payne ends the night with 20. Honig ends the night with 5. She was 2 of 2 from the line. And you have Peyton Richard ending the night with 5 points. She was 2 of 2 from the line as well. So a couple of things contributing to just an absolutely spectacular second half for the Lady Chieftains. Number 1, the fact that McNulty was absolutely on fire. Number 2, the fact that Payne had 6 threes on night. And number 3, that as a team, they shot 10 of 11 from the line.
Indeed, they did, and certainly a night that for the Chieftains proved they are battle-tested. They have played their way to being battle-tested tonight, and they certainly proved it in every single way. We're going to step aside on our K-Zone Game of the Week coverage. I see Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick making his way to our courtside broadcast position. We've got so much more to come on our K-Zone Game of the Week. You stay with us. This is the K-Zone Game of the Week on WPKZ. Back to the K-Zone Game of the Week in our courtside broadcast position as well. Happy to have you with us on AM 1280, 105.3 FM, WPKZstream.com, and with Rivalry Family Media streaming online as well. And we're glad to be joined now by Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick at our courtside broadcast position. It's brought to you by Colonial Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Hudson. See the difference that selection, service, and price make. Dealer of the Year 7 years in a row. Online at buycolonialdodge.com. And Coach, tough loss tonight, 63-49. First half of action, you guys seemingly got it together. Struggled a little bit off the start. I think both teams really did. Once you guys got locked in, you started to build a lead there in the first half, and then it was that dreaded third quarter again that made all the difference in this basketball game.
Yeah, I mean, started out well. I mean, we played hard. We're all over the place, you know, back and forth in the first, built a little lead, and then that third quarter that we talked about in the locker room at the half is we got to fight through that mental part of it. You know, I got to be better for them, and, you know, we just got to execute and stay calm. And, you know, it kind of got to us that period, but they never stopped giving the effort.
Indeed, and that has been, of course, the key to the conversation with this team. Although tonight, you know that mathematically it's not going to get any better. There's no, you know, what you have left is what you have to play for this season. But the effort has never gone away, and it speaks to the type of senior leaders you've had, and they've persevered through everything. Every time we turn around, it's a mash unit. You know, somebody's out, somebody's injured, somebody's fighting, and they're all playing. Nobody wants to sit out of the basketball game.
No. You know, I don't know who we're going to have it from game to game. I mean, but the next person steps up and they play hard, and I'm always looking around at the bench. Who can I put in? And all right, who's here? But, you know, the senior leadership that I have with Faith, Ivana, Grace, and Skylar, you know, you can't have better leadership than that.
And they do it day in and day out. I know we talk about, you know, the practices. You know, when you get to a long season, you know, especially when you're struggling with injury, I mean, there's so many factors, but that practice time is so vitally important, and they give it everything they have.
Yeah. So you look around sometimes at practice, and I'll have 6 people, you know, that sicknesses are going around, you know, injuries, and so sometimes I got to get the coaches involved and I'm like, geez, can I put you in the next game?
Of course, you know, assistant coach Megan McNiff had a career in her own right here in Leominster as well.
Love her.
The great support that we saw once again tonight. We were talking about the support last week in the Fitchburg game as well. That atmosphere, it makes all the difference in high school athletics to have that kind of buzz and excitement. You see the alumni around. Katie Kerouac was here tonight, of course, supporting her cousin Kylie Cudahy, as well as, of course, Megan McNiff, also a cousin of her. It's Leominster. There's lots of cousins.
They're all cousins. Even the ones from Nashoba.
As it turns out. But, you know, aside from that, there's this family legacy of women's basketball, not just in that family, but, you know, across the city. And you see them come out We saw legendary head coach Ron Mazzaferro in
Yes, we
attendance
did.
tonight. From boys basketball, I know he was your former coach as well. And, I mean, just to have that here, it speaks to the environment, of course, of these games each and every week.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to build that bigger and better. Like last year's senior, Giovanna, she's been here a few times. She's showed up to practices, and I want an open door. Don't ask me to come, just show up. And that's, I want that about Leominster. And you could see there's a couple little girls at
Yes.
7th, 8th graders that are coming on, and they're excited about coming and building the program. And that's what we got. We got to, like Wachusett, they have all their girls, and they're playing basketball all summer. We need to do that. Unfortunately, it's not like athletes where you jump sport to sport now. They get into one sport and they build. So we need to at least play in the summer. I want kids playing other sports, but we got to stay busy. We can't put the balls away. We just got to keep playing.
Talk a little bit about your opponent tonight, Nashoba. Very impressive athletes out there. We knew they had 3 athletes in their starting lineup, seniors that were matriculating on to play Division I athletics. Speaks to their athletic ability and the work which Tina Seabury has done.
She's done a great job with them, and you knew we were in a game. We were hoping to get a bigger lead so we could maybe survive that third quarter, but they're a very good team, and she's a great coach, and those kids, they're one of the better teams here. I mean, sometimes you look at their scores and they're not like where you would think they'd be, but when they come to play, they're there.
Leominster head coach Rusty Frederick. More games to come here. We'll have more with you on RFM next Monday against Millbury, a strong team. Yes, they play down a division, but a very strong team coming out of South Central Mass.
We got our work cut out for us that day. They're legit. I think they lost to 2 Boston teams. So everyone else in the area, they take care of. So we got to come ready to play that one. We got senior night Thursday night. Shepherd Hill's coming in, and that's a very big game for our seniors.
Fitchburg proved a point a week ago in defeating you in a game that was likely, what they felt like was their state championship game for this season. Your state championship game might be against Millbury next Monday.
Could be.
Indeed, it could be. Coach Rusty Frederick, we'll see you then. More to come as we continue here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. More from courtside here. A final word as we come back. This is the K-Zone Game of the Week on WPKZ. For public schools, we turned out okay. 30 seconds, Derek. K-Zone Game of the Week, back courtside here at the gym at Leominster High School. Nashoba a winner tonight, 63-49, the final score here on the K-Zone Game of the Week. Brought to you by Bolton Orchards for the season's best harvest and the freshest produce. Daily lunch specials and Nitro Brew coffees. Open 7 to 6 daily at the junctions of Route 110, 117. Online at boltonorchards.com. Todd Robbins, Kate Robbins, Bill Thomas with us as well, and happy to have you along with us here on our K-Zone Game of the Week. And Kate, you hear it from Coach Rusty Frederick. They want it so badly, and there's so much that they want to be able to do here. They just need that one more win or that one more moment or that one more something that'll put them over the top.
And that's one of those things when you talk to coaches in the beginning of the season, all the best laid plans, sometimes, as Coach Frederick says, sometimes when you have illness, sometimes when you have injury, you end up having only a few people that can even show up to practice on a daily basis. And that goes for any sport in any season at the high school level. You have a limited amount of weapons that are at your disposal, and so you have to do what you can with what you get. And so in a situation where you have some people go down, you have some people get sick, it's been a very interesting winter thus far for sickness, not necessarily a lot of winter weather with regard to snow, but a lot of illness going through a lot of school systems. And so that tends to have a kind of a domino effect when you get into athletics, because as soon as one person touches a basketball, then everybody's exposed to something. And so obviously we know that the Blue Devils also had some injuries, and the last portion of their schedule has been absolutely no joke. They've set themselves up for a gauntlet going into the month of February, and if they did not start the season strong, if they didn't set themselves up well, they're putting themselves in a position where they had a very steep uphill climb in order to make it to become district's playoff eligible. And that's kind of what you're seeing come to fruition right now. Place yourself in a position where you're on this precipice. You have a chance mathematically. You're not out of it. But if you take a look down the barrel at the gauntlet of the February schedule that the Lady Blue Devils had, it would be nice if the schedule had deemed itself so that they could ramp themselves up for it. So they're playing their best basketball going into the playoffs. That's kind of what you hope when you put all those teams closer toward the end. But it's a situation where Midwatch A is competitive,
certainly
up and down across the board.
Best
and
basketball team, girls-wise, in the state is
Central
Wachusett.
Mass.
And there they are at the top of Central Mass.
Yep, Central Mass is where that team is. So that's an automatic 2 games that you have to play against the best in the state. And then the remainder of Midwatch A, no joke. And as we saw tonight, Midwatch B. These girls can play just as well as the Midwatch A. So your league schedule, your non-league schedule, it is a terror to go into. It's one of those situations where Coach Frederick and Lady Blue Devils have not been able to take a breath all season long. So you're trying to make these incremental adjustments. You're trying to make these, these terraced climbs up to greatness, and you're constantly seeing speed bump after speed bump and issue after issue relative to the teams that you're facing. And it's just like I said, it's an absolute gauntlet. And the thing with the winter season, it's a marathon. When you talk about spring seasons, you blink and it's over. It's painful, but it lasts a very short amount of time.
Indeed.
In the wintertime, you're talking about a long, slow, painful season in some instances. And so I was very much encouraged by how the Lady Blue Devils played this year. A lot of senior leadership. We saw some really great basketball out of that team throughout the year. They kept a lot of their games close. And like you said, you hate to see it go in this direction this late on, but a very nice showing by the Lady Blue Devils all season long.
Bill Thomas joins us back here as well. And Bill, of course, we've got a chance to watch these girls continue to develop and work their way along. And, of course, they're just not quite enough right now.
Yeah, I think the seniors just felt a lot of weight on their shoulders to kind of carry the team, and they've performed admirably, but sometimes you just you can't get over that hoop, and you're looking over your shoulder, and you're hoping the next girl steps up, and they're trying, and we saw it tonight. Skylar Finnegan come out, threw up a couple of nice shots there to start the game, and but they just didn't quite have enough, but. That third quarter was a difference, and we saw the Nashoba Chieftains just shoot lights out, threes coming from all different spots on the court, and opened up that double-digit lead. And the Blue Devils held it between 8-12, back and forth, just could never get that down to that 2-possession game. And Chieftains came up with the points when they needed, scored from the line down the end, and that was the difference. It turned into a 10, 12-point game there at the end.
Third quarter was the killer, certainly for Leominster tonight. K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Northeast Insurance on behalf of Clear Path for Veterans New England, ROI Office Furniture in Fitchburg, Acme Carpet One in Lunenburg, Chapter Lane Truck Center, Hometown Bank, North End Mazda, Woodcomb Insurance, K-Zone Game of the Week brought to you by Rhino Linings of Leominster and New England Undercoat, Colonial Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep of Hudson, and Bolton Orchards. We thank all of you so very much for your support of the K-Zone Game of the Week here on AM 1280 and 105.3 FM. Next Game of the Week broadcast comes your way Monday night. That's President's Day, February the 17th. Boys ice hockey is the featured game. Leominster plays host to North Middlesex at the Wallace Civic Center. 6:30 puck drop. Dan and Dan on the call here on the K-Zone. AM 1280, 105.3 FM, and WPKZstream.com. Coming up immediately following us, it's Celtics pregame coming up at 9:30. The Celtics are on the road in Houston. They will take on the Rockets. 9:30 is their countdown to tip-off for Celtics Rockets. In the meantime, we've got Fox Sports Radio for you. For Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, DJ Derek Drown back at Master Control. I am Todd Robbins saying thank you so very much for joining us. And until next time on the K-Zone Game of the Week, so long, everybody.